I'm Zahir, Kelvin Abdullah, and this is Nightline. The top stories. Moody's reaffirms Malaysia rating at A3 with stable outlook. An RTD to blacklist vehicle owners with unpaid fines starting July. The government's clear policy direction and commitment to high governance standards have successfully driven the nation's economic growth, as recognized by global rating agency Moody's, which has maintained Malaysia's sovereign credit rating at A3 with a stable outlook. Thus, Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim stressed that the government remains committed to implementing economic reforms and stimulating regional development to benefit the people. In a statement on Saturday, Anwar described Moody's affirmation as a reflection of the government's ongoing efforts to drive economic growth. He added that the nation remains on track with fiscal reforms despite uncertainties reshaping the global economy and geopolitical divisions. Anwar, who is also the finance minister, said that the government will also accelerate fiscal and economic reforms as outlined in the 2025 budget. Priority will be given to quality investments to create high-income jobs, support economic diversification, and foster new opportunities. According to Moody's, Malaysia is set to be the fastest-growing A-rated economy over the next 2 years, with the country's medium-term growth prospects remaining buoyant. Strong political support has also provided the government with the space to implement planned reforms, including the enactment of the Public Finance and Fiscal Responsibility Act 2023. Anwar also stressed that the government will continue to enhance public finances by strengthening efforts to increase revenue and rationalize subsidies. The approval process for entry permits for foreign nationals wishing to reside in Malaysia with their Malaysian spouses now only takes 6 months compared to up to 15 years previously. Home Minister Datuk Seri Saifuddin Nasution Ismail said the initiative to streamline the process was implemented to address long-standing complaints from applicants regarding the prolonged delays.
Kita akan proses mengikut piagam pelanggan yang lebih realistik, iaitu 6 bulan setelah permohonan lengkap dikemukakan. Ya, dikemuka 6 bulan, sebelum ni tak ada ikatan, sekarang ni 6 bulan. Dan keputusan itu kita akan proses tentang semakan dokumen seperti biasa dan juga keputusan tapisan keselamatan oleh polis.
Saifuddin said this at a press conference during the Home Ministry's Meet the People program in Kulim, Kedah on Saturday. He hopes that these improvements will simplify the process for foreign spouses of Malaysians, enabling them to focus on their quality of life rather than dealing with excessive bureaucracy. He also emphasized that the reform provides applicants with a clear timeline for decision-making. A new standard operating procedure (SOP) will also be introduced, including a checklist of required documents and detailed guidelines for related matters. The entry permit enables foreign spouses of Malaysians to reside in the country for purposes such as employment, education, or family ties subject to specific conditions. Between 2020 and 2023, a total of 23,674 applications were recorded, with 52% approved, while the remainder were rejected due to various factors. The government is exploring a win-win solution involving all stakeholders on the issue of local white rice supply and paddy purchase prices. Agriculture and Food Security Minister Datuk Seri Muhammad Sabu said more time is needed for thorough engagement with all parties before a comprehensive resolution can be announced.
Kita kena jaga kepentingan pengguna, kepentingan petani, kepentingan pengilang, kepentingan pengedar. Semua itu kena ada peranan masing-masing. Sebab itu kita sedang libat urus dengan lebih panjang.
Muhammad said this at a press conference after officiating Amanah National Convention in Klang, Selangor on Saturday. He also said that he was prepared to address all questions regarding the issue in Parliament. Discussions with the National Cost of Living Action Council, NACOL, chaired by Prime Minister Datuk Sri Anwar Ibrahim, is expected to commence during the first week of the parliamentary session next month. The Education Ministry will cooperate with the police in the investigation into the case of a 12-year-old pupil allegedly beaten by a teacher on December 10th last year. Its Minister Fadlina Siddiq said the ministry is aware that a police report has been lodged by the pupil's family regarding the incident which occurred in Perak and will closely monitor the case.
Dan dalam masa yang sama kita sentiasa membantu dalam proses kesihatan ini. Kita telah memberikan peringatan untuk baik sekolah dan juga guru-guru kita untuk memberikan kerjasama dalam tempoh siasatan ini berlaku. Kita pantau sehingga selesai.
Fadlina said this to reporters after attending the State Educational Leadership Assembly held at a school in Kota Kinabalu, Sabah on Saturday. She added that the ministry is focusing on providing counselling support to the child and his family. At the same time, all teachers have been reminded to handle students with care to prevent physical injuries. On Friday, it was reported that the pupils' parents expressed their disappointment with the teacher who allegedly assaulted their son, resulting in a cochlear concussion. The boy's parents also plan to seek justice through legal channels. Korean District Police Chief Superintendent Juna Yusof said that an investigation paper has been opened and submitted to the Deputy Public Prosecutor. The case is being investigated under the Penal Code for voluntary causing hurt. Collaborations between the government, industry and educational institutions are vital for positioning Malaysia as a leading artificial intelligence AI hub in Southeast Asia. Technological Association of Malaysia President Tung Chee Kwan emphasized that all three sectors play equally important roles in achieving this goal.
I think the partnership is very crucial. Basically, to push for the optimization of things, because AI is never cheap. The government, industries or business, and the academia. These are the three partnership which I feel is very crucial. Okay. First, the government is very needed for the regulatory framework and for the funding, which help to the spin off some of these startups and so on. The industries, they will be very needed for the technical expertise and the solutions. And academia we are very dependent on them for the talents and also research. We know very well some of the challenges.
Tung said this on an episode of TV3's flagship business talk show Money Matters aired on Saturday. He also believed that university graduates preparing for careers in the AI industry must be able to meet its needs to help drive the nation's progress. In December last year, Malaysia launched a National Artificial Intelligence Office as part of an initiative to establish itself as a regional hub for AI development. From July onwards, vehicle owners with unpaid fines under three specific Road Transport Department (RTD) summons categories will be blacklisted. The summons categories involve Automated Awareness Safety System, AWAS summonses or 53A, Notice 114 or Notice to Attend an Investigation Interview, and Notice 115 or a Fixed Summons Notice. RTD Director General Dato' Aidi Fadli Ramli said that stricter enforcement would begin after the special compound offer of RM150 for the mentioned offences ends on June 30th.
Mana-mana yang tidak menjelaskan saman, JPJ akan mengambil tindakan untuk membuat sekatan urus niaga, iaitu kita akan blacklist sehinggalah dia membayar saman tersebut.
He added that the transaction restrictions will prevent vehicle owners from renewing their driving licenses and road tax. Aidi Fadli advised the public to take advantage of the RM150 compound offer, noting that payments can be made at RTD counters or via the My JPJ app. Since the offer began in January, the RTD has collected 12.5 million ringgit in payments for 83,000 summonses. However, about 2 million summonses remain unsettled. Police have arrested 3 men believed to be involved in drug sales linked to the deaths of 4 individuals who attended the Pink Fish Countdown concert on New Year's Eve. Selangor Police Chief Dato' Hussein Omar Khan stated that all the suspects aged between their 20s and 30s were detained at several locations across the state between January 8 and 12. Hussein said that based on preliminary investigations, the suspects had sold ecstasy pills to concert goers on the day of the event.
Daripada 3 tu ada yang ada. One of them were in the concert. Yang jual di dalam concert. Tapi ada juga mereka mangsa ni yang beli daripada luar. Bawa masuk dalam concert.
He said this to the media after launching the 2025 Chinese New Year Road Safety Campaign, Op Selamat, in Petaling Jaya on Saturday. He added that a total of 7 people, including the 4 who died, were found to have ecstasy in their systems. When asked if police would consider banning future concerts following the incident, Hussein stated the authorities would not impose a ban but would tighten regulations for large-scale events to improve safety. The regulations would depend on factors such as the type of concert, the genre of music, the venue, and the expected attendance, as well as the organizers' readiness to handle emergencies, including deploying first aid teams. It was reported that police have recorded statements from 52 people, including the victims who survived and concert personnel. Police previously said the 4 who died after attending the event in Bandar Sunway were suspected to have taken ecstasy. Their deaths has prompted authorities to suspend concert permits in Selangor, with the state government saying it would review concert guidelines. In Kelantan, a father and his daughter's holiday trip to Malacca ended in tragedy when they were killed in an accident in Gua Musang on Saturday. The crash occurred at 4 a.m. on Jalan Gua Musang, Kuala Krai, near Sungai Lakit, after the multi-purpose vehicle MPV they were travelling in collided with a 10-ton lorry. A spokesman for the Kelantan Fire and Rescue Department said 7 personnel from the Kuala Krai Fire and Rescue Station were dispatched to the scene after receiving a distress call at 4:06 a.m. Upon arrival, firefighters found the male victim unconscious and pinned in the driver's seat, and the team had to use special equipment to extricate him from the vehicle. The female victim, who was seated in the front passenger seat, was thrown out of the vehicle due to the impact of the crash. Both victims were pronounced dead by medical personnel at the scene. They were identified as 46-year-old Shamsu Haizrin Samsudin and his 11-year-old daughter Shazalia. District Police Chief Superintendent Sik Chun Fu said that the MPV is believed to have veered into the opposite lane before colliding with the lorry. Both victims' remains were sent to Gua Musang Hospital for post-mortem and later buried at the Kampong Seberang Pasir Mas Salo Muslim Cemetery in Kota Baru. About 120 people, including supporters of political parties, attended the anti-corruption rally in Kuala Lumpur on Saturday. The participants, primarily students from higher learning institutions, began marching from a shopping mall at Jalan Tuanku Abdul Rahman to Dataran Merdeka at 2 p.m. while carrying placards and chanting slogans such as "Reject Corruption" and "Youth Power." Police officers and personnel from the Dang Wangi District Police Headquarters and the City Contingent Police Headquarters were also present to monitor the rally and manage traffic flow. No untoward incidents were reported. The crowd reached Dataran Merdeka at about 3:20 p.m, where they continued to chant slogans urging the government to take a stronger stance against corruption. The rally organisers also called for the government to introduce critical reforms to combat corruption, including enacting the Political Financing Act and placing the Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission (MACC) under parliamentary oversight. National shuttlers storm into final sports action from the Indonesia Masters after this breather.
Rasa Korea sebenar. Saksikan Kopi Soda One in a Million untuk peluang memenangi sebuah Peugeot Landtrek setiap minggu. Setiap Ahad bermula 22 Disember hingga 2 Februari. Tonton dan ikuti langkah mudah ini. Imbas kod QR yang tertera di sepanjang rancangan dan jawab soalan-soalan yang diberikan. Maklumat lanjut di tonton.com.my /Kopi Soda OIAM TV3. Kopi Soda One in a Million, sejuta soda, satu juara.
TV pecah, semua rosak. Kalau yang kecil ni pula, kadang-kadang tak ada duit, dia kutip lah duit-duit siling atas lantai.
Saya minta dengan awak, yang cakap dan saya nak nampak. Lepas tu nak turun daripada katil ni. Nak menyusahkan suami saya lagi. Saya nak kerja.
Awak ni boleh jadi dark horse tau. You are a complete performer. So saya harap to see more of you.
Saya salute you punya semangat tu. You know, you have a very unique voice.
I saw you keluar, I said, man, for to nyanyi begitu, now that's hebat lah, come on.
Kekal cakna, kekal sihat. Hello Doktor merungkai pelbagai persoalan kesihatan anda.
Penyakit kronik, pemakanan, kesihatan mental, semuanya demi kesejahteraan anda.
Setiap minggu bersama tenaga pakar kesihatan terbaik Malaysia, segalanya terjawab dalam Hello Doktor setiap Ahad
5.30 petang di TV3
dan stream juga melalui Tonton.
About you is your lower notes. Your lower notes, you got this constant flu punya, crooner punya sound.
Comel, penampilan memang macam AJL. Kak Ji selalu tekankan setiap penyanyi kalau boleh sebutan tu lagi jelas.
Cuma untuk ketika membawakan sebuah lagu yang fun, kita harus mencoba bikin sesimpel mungkin, tapi kita bisa enjoy bersama.
We're back with sports. Badminton, the 2025 Indonesia Masters. Two national doubles pairs step into the final in style after winning their respective matches on Saturday. Men's double shuttlers Man Wei Chong, T Kai Woon delivered a stunning performance to upset seniors Aaron Chia, So Woo Yik in the semi-finals. The world number 13 duo played brilliantly to come away with a 21-18, 21-15 win over world number 5 Aaron Woo Yik in just 31 minutes. They will meet Indonesia's Fajar Alfian Muhammad Rian Ardianto in Sunday's final. Earlier in the women's doubles action, Buletin and Tina stormed into the final, becoming the first Malaysian pair to do so in 14 years. The world number 7 pair secured their spots after defeating South Korea's Lee Yeon-woo, Lee Yu-lim in straight sets 21-19, 21-16 in a semi-final match that lasted 52 minutes. Standing in Pearly Tina's way to their first title this year is another Korean pair, Kim Hae-jeong, Kong Hee-yong. Turning to football, the Super League, Selangor FC had to be satisfied with the share of the points after they were held to a 1-1 draw by Penang FC, while Johor Darul Takzim JDT FC claimed a narrow 1-0 win over Terengganu FC. At the Tuanku Abdul Rahman Stadium, Sabah FC recorded a 2-1 away win over Negeri Sembilan FC. The visitors had an early advantage when Sadil Ramdhani struck their first after just 5 minutes. Joao Pedro doubled Sabah's lead in the 71st minute before Hien That Aung grabbed a consolation goal for Negeri Sembilan 12 minutes later. The result saw Sabah remain in third place with 32 points, while Negeri Sembilan stand in 12th place. Still on football, the German Bundesliga league strugglers Holstein Kiel battled to a 2-2 draw at European hopefuls Wolfsburg on Friday. Second bottom, Kiel opened the scoring against the sixth-place host in the 13th minute through David Zek and held the lead to the break. Not long after the restart, Patrick Wimmer levelled the score when he slotted home from close range in the 50th minute, with Jonas Wynn putting the hosts in front 3 minutes later by heading in Wimmer's corner. The Wolves looked by far the better side for much of the second half. But Steven Skorjipski somehow managed to force the ball home 10 minutes before time to earn the visitors a share of the spoils. The result saw Wolfsburg rise 1 place into 6, while Kiel remained second from the bottom. Tennis now, the 2025 Australian Open. American underdog Madison Keys finally got her hands on a Grand Slam trophy after holding off defending champion Aryna Sabalenka to win the women's singles title on Saturday. With the final heading towards a match tiebreak, Keys managed to break the world #1 serve to win a thrilling final 6-3, 2-6, 7-5, with the American landing a forehand winner on match point. The 29-year-old is the fourth oldest woman to win her first Grand Slam title. It had been 8 years since Keys last made a major final when she lost the 2017 US Open, a match she said she dwelled on in the near decade since. Jeju air crash preliminary report to be released soon. The details when Nightline returns.
I didn't stop my dad while dia tengah bergaduh dengan kawan until end up kawan dia bunuh my dad. Umur Mary 9 tahun masa tu. Everything happened so fast until I saw dia punya kawan tikam sini dah. The last time I saw him, kami pergi hospital di dalam icebox sudah. Maybe that's the reason why I don't want to be a nurse. Sebab dia flashback everything that happened.
Kekal cakna, kekal sihat. Hello Doktor merungkai pelbagai persoalan kesihatan anda.
Penyakit kronik, pemakanan, kesihatan mental, semuanya demi kesejahteraan anda.
Setiap minggu bersama tenaga pakar kesihatan terbaik Malaysia, segalanya terjawab dalam Hello Doktor setiap Ahad
5.30 petang di TV3
dan stream juga melalui Tonton.
Saya pernah di body shaming. Dulu saya gemuk. And then pernah juga saya dikatakan bahawa kau tidak boleh jadi seorang penyanyi sebab kau buruk, sebab kau tidak cantik. Dan itu sebenarnya menjadi trauma kepada saya sehinggalah sekarang. Buruk gemuk is only what people say towards me. Saya sangat ditindas, like no one wants to friend me dulu. Dan dulu banyak juga macam bila kita kena panggil menyanyi, tidak orang pandang. Because you look like that.
Raikan persamaan,
hormati perbezaan,
kemeriahan Tahun Baru Cina dikongsi bersama.
Saya duduk di kampung Melayu, hidup berpilang kaum lah.
Makanan tu satu penyampaian kasih sayang ibu kepada anak.
Inilah dia, kuih cang yang telah direbus selama 2 jam dan sedia untuk dimakan.
Banyak rezeki. Henga. Onga.
Kongsi Pasai. 1 in a million. Minggu ini saling menyengat. Fiz sangat. 6 peserta terbaik bakal berduet dengan artis hit Malaysia. Masha Milad, Hakim Rusli, Aisyah Retno, Kai Baha, Shiha Zikir dan Amir Masdi. Ditambah dengan persembahan hebat daripada Stacy dan juri jemputan Alif Sata. Ahad 26 Januari 9 malam. Hanya di TV3.
TV pecah semua rosak. Kalau yang kecil ni pula, kadang-kadang tak ada duit, dia kutip lah duit-duit siling atas lantai.
Saya minta dengan awak, ayah cakap saya nak nampak. Lepas tu nak tua daripada kata je. Saya nak menyusahkan suami saya lagi. Saya nak kerja.
On to the foreign front. Hamas has released 4 female Israeli soldiers held in Gaza as part of the ceasefire agreement with Israel, handing them over to the International Committee of the Red Cross officials in Palestine Square in Gaza City on Saturday. Hamas identified the 4 female Israeli soldiers as Karina Ariev, Daniela Gilboa, Naama Levy and Liri Albag. The Zionist army confirmed it received the released soldiers from the Red Cross, adding that they will undergo a medical assessment. Later on Saturday, Israel said 200 Palestinians were released from its jails within the scope of the second exchange with Hamas under the deal sealed earlier in the month. Buses carrying released Palestinian prisoners were seen departing from the Israeli Ofer military prison in the occupied West Bank soon after the captives were freed. Israel's prison service said all 200 prisoners have been released in line with the list published by Hamas. South Korea will release by Monday a preliminary report on last month's Jeju airplane crash that killed 179 people, the deadliest air disaster on the nation's soil. The country's transport ministry said on Saturday that one area under investigation is what role a bird strike played in the December 29 crash of Flight 7C2216 as it arrived at one international airport from Bangkok. It added that the report will be sent to the International Civil Aviation Organization as well as the United States, France and Thailand. Seoul has been cooperating with investigators from the U.S. National Transportation Safety Board and France's Bureau of Inquiry and Analysis for Civil Aviation Safety. It will take several months to analyze and verify flight data and cockpit voice recordings, which stopped recording 4 minutes and 7 seconds before the crash, and communication recordings with the control tower. The administration of U.S. President Donald Trump has announced a freeze on almost all new funding for foreign assistance programs, with exceptions for allies Israel and Egypt. The order from the U.S. State Department on Friday also includes exceptions for emergency food programs, but not health programs that supporters say provide vital life-saving services. The instruction was issued by the newly confirmed Secretary of State Marco Rubio. The temporary freeze is slated to last for a period of at least 3 months. In the first 85 days, Rubio is expected to make decisions whether to continue, modify or terminate programs. The leaked notice follows Trump's executive order issued on Monday for a 90-day pause in foreign development assistance, pending a review of efficiencies and consistency with his foreign policy.
A set of pardons.
In the meantime, Pete Hegseth has been confirmed as the U.S. Defense Secretary, with Vice President J.D. Vance casting the vote to break a 50-50 tie, underscoring the controversy over his nomination, which has been rocked by allegations of alcohol abuse and sexual misconduct. Friday's confirmation of Hegseth, a 44-year-old former Fox News personality and decorated war veteran, is seen as a victory for Trump amid opposition from all Democrats, an independent, and 3 Republican members of the Senate. It was only the second time in history a cabinet nominee needed a tie break to be confirmed. Hegseth, who is promising to bring major changes to the Pentagon, takes over as defense chief amid the war in Ukraine, ceasefires in Lebanon and Gaza, as well as the push of the Trump administration to expand the military's role on the US-Mexico border. And that concludes Nightline this time around. Before we leave, let's take a look at Hong Kong's Tai Kwun, which underwent a major transformation with Innerglow, a 3D map projection show at the former Central Magistracy in the run-up to the Chinese New Year. With that, I'm Zahir, Kelvin and Abdullah. Thank you for watching and enjoy the rest of your weekend.